Terry's three. Johnny Walker matching up against control. His shot. Bruce score. They score. They tie the game up 2-2. Some drives out for Robbie Ryan. Her three right on the money. This is Taya Hansen for three. Other side of the rim with a pretty reverse. Wow. 5 seconds to go. Find Hawk. Hawk spins. It rolls off. And Arizona State wins it. Edward pulls off. And buries the puck.
Daniels takes the shot for 30.
Yes, welcome into Pitchfork Lunch. I am Michael Caratanudo at Diablo00 on Twitter is where you can find me. It is Tuesday, November 14th. Just in case you guys didn't remember what day it was. It is Tuesday, November 14th. And got a lot coming to you. I know I mentioned it at the end of us. Just say, hey, apologies for the technical difficulties yesterday. I do not understand as to why they happened. I am working towards seeing why it cut out twice, and I was able to rejoin. Again, apologies. Not a big fan when that happens, to overstate the obvious. But yes, a new athletic director will be in ASU's near future. We'll get to that. But yes, Michael Caratanudo here at Diablo00 as we are on Pitchfork Lunch. And yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's an odd, I guess, I don't know, if we wait till the end of the year, it depends, but he decided to step down. And like I said, there was unhappy fans at the UCLA football game, not with the outcome, obviously very happy with the outcome, but with Ray Anderson. And there's been that kind of stigma for a while. I know, just hearing people talk and how it's affecting boosters and all that good stuff. So, he decided to resign and step down as athletic director at Arizona State. He will still be in the he'll still be a professor at the Sandra Day O'Connor Law School, as again, being an agent, has his degree, so he's still involved in that. Is Ray Anderson, but no longer the athletic director. And that was the news that kind of broke towards the end of the show yesterday. And, Coach Dillingham addressed it yesterday in his Monday presser a little bit. He addressed it again a little bit today for football practice, which I'll play that sound for you in just a teeny bit. So yeah, he did address that a little bit, as did Willie Bloomquist yesterday. Tomorrow, I'm going to have an awesome interview, press conference that we had. Going to share it. I'm going to share it tomorrow, just because I got to finish signing up a new signee for the Sun Devils, and I'll get into who that is a teeny bit later in the show. But I will show you the press conference and some of the photos from that as well. And it was really awesome. Again, ASU's new signee. Very excited for this young man. And that was and again, a great press conference with Willie and some of the team and their new signee mom and stuff. So it was very, very awesome. And yeah, sorry, there's just a little bit of news to get to there. But yeah, very awesome. Again, great. So yeah, I mean, it's it's a phenomenal story, and again, I will have it tomorrow again because it deserves the best attention. But I will talk about it a little bit later in the show. Like I said, out at football today, Coach Dillingham. Coach Dillingham talking, and also caught up with the fifth starting quarterback of the season, Jalen Conyers. And I'm not laughing at him again. You'll hear he was again very happy in his to help the team, and he talks about that too. So we'll get into that. Volleyball, as you know, my friends, has the volleyball has the Oregon schools in town this weekend, Friday and Sunday, and the Ducks will be here for, see if they can, as well Oregon State. And last time these, obviously ASU beat Oregon in 3 after coming off a 5-set loss in Corvallis to Oregon State. And they turned around and went to Eugene. And no surprise, Marta Levinska, by the way, not going to bury this too far, but it was the Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Week for last week's matches. Again, the sweep over the Mountain Schools, Colorado and Utah, hitting .425. Her hitting percentage is phenomenal. Over 2 matches with 20-plus kills, like I said, in both, 25 in the Colorado match, 21 against Utah. And the Devils had wins in both matches, to overstate the obvious, as you fans know. Also, like I said, with Oregon last time, Oregon State beat them in 5 in Corvallis on Friday, October 13th. Ooh, Friday the 13th. And then on Sunday, though, they went into Eugene and swept Oregon in 3. So, yeah, now coming off, again, they beat Colorado 3-1 on last Thursday night, and then beat Utah 3-0. So, yeah, number 6, Oregon is number 6 this time. Last time they played them, they were number 5. Oregon's number 6 this time, and they have them Friday at 6 p.m. at Desert Financial Arena, just so you guys all know that. And the new rankings did come out, by the way. And the Sun Devils there we are. The Sun Devils wow. Well, they swept 2 matches, but dropped 1 spot. They are now number 18. So they took care of business against who they should. And again, they lost to Colorado last time, but still they win 2 and they drop a spot. But Stanford, by the way, up to number 2 now. So they were 3 at the time we beat them, but now we still have a win over the number 2 team in the country as Wisconsin lost their second match of the year. The Huskers in Nebraska are rolling. I mean, it could be going through them, but once we get to postseason play, we shall see. But yeah, Nebraska number 1, Stanford number 2, Wisconsin 3, Louisville 4, Texas 5. Like I said, Oregon is 6. Washington State fell 2 spots to 11. ASU fell 1 spot to 18. USC jumped 1 spot, though, to 24, and they were not ranked. So that's the AVCA women's poll. But yeah, like I said, for the Pac-12, Stanford 2, Oregon 6, Washington State 11, ASU 18, and USC 24. So pretty stoked there. And the USA Today men's hockey poll. When was this last updated? Oh. Well, Arizona State is up 3 spots. In the USA Today, they were 17, and now they're up to 14. Denver, again, is still at number 2 after their split with ASU. Wisconsin's number 1, Denver's number 2, Boston College number 3, North Dakota 4, and Providence is 5. Minnesota 6, Quinnipiac 7, Boston University 8, Maine 9, and Cornell 10. But yeah, I mean, you look at Cornell 10, and you have Michigan State at 11, Michigan at 12, New Hampshire at 13, ASU at 14. So they're starting to get into some air that they can improve their rankings. So 7-2-1 overall for the Devils. So again, coming off that split with number 2 Denver, who did actually still receive 3 first place votes, but Wisconsin got 28, Denver got 3, BC got 2, Providence actually got 1. Providence writer hooking them up. But nonetheless, that's where we are with the men's hockey rankings. But yeah, I mean, obviously a lot going on in Sun Devil country. Triathlon won another national title, by the way. I forgot to give them their due, which is, again, they've done such an awesome job. Just that in general, the way they compete and they've done a lot of winning. So Sun Devil Nation can love that. Women's basketball got a victory last night over San Francisco, 3-0 for the Lady Devils. Forks up. See, Natasha Adair came on, and again, it's the 99.99999% coaching and talent, and it's the 0.0001% pitchfork lunch mojo. So I'm just saying it exists. You can say what you will, pitchfork lunchers, but it does exist. And yeah, hockey has they have I want to say Alaska Anchorage coming up, not Fairbanks. I think I got that right. It's one of the Alaska programs. Yeah, it's one of the Alaska Anchorage. I was right. So that is Friday at Mullet Arena at 7 p.m. and Sunday at Mullet Arena as well at 1 p.m. And yeah, they have that's what they got going on. So it's like I said, it's a team that's up to 14th, 7-2-1 overall for, again, head coach Greg Powers, Sun Devil alum. And yeah, a lot. It's just a great atmosphere for hockey. I mean, well, volleyball as well, but obviously for what it was built for hockey, phenomenal. If you have not been out, you need to get out to a game. Yes, this team is good, so it makes it, they're winning. I know it makes it easier, but either way, like, it is phenomenal what Coach Powers has built. How they've built it up, again, starting out at Oceanside where there was a few bleacher sheets and then you could stand around and stuff like that. But yeah, it's Mullet Arena's phenomenal. And again, 7-2-1 overall for this team. So again, coming off a split with Denver, again, Alaska Anchorage, not ranked. Providence, though, like I said, they will be in Tempe a week from Friday, the 24th at 7 p.m. And then Sunday, they will take on Providence at 2 p.m. on the 26th. So just a little planning for you guys out front. But I'm going to step aside real quick. When we get back, we shall hear from football practice today. Jalen Conyers got to talk to him, and Kenny Dillingham as well. But step aside real quick, and we'll be back with that all coming up here on the 50th episode and Tuesday edition of Pitchfork Lunch. Yes, back here on Pitchfork Lunch. I am Michael Caratenuto at Diablo00 on X, or the artist formerly known as Twitter. You can see the show live there, Facebook, and my YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube channel at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Cat, 005 on YouTube. Subscribe. All the shows are there. Like the shows, share the shows. Go back and see the awesome interviews that you've missed. And yes, you have missed some awesome interviews so far, but again, got you covered. The shows are all up there. So subscribe to the YouTube channel at MVC005 on YouTube. And hey, you'll be all hooked up. It'll be great. Everybody will love it. Sun Devil Nation. Again, you can spread the beauty that is Sun Devil Nation all around and all that good stuff. So again, YouTube at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Cat, 005. Subscribe. Football. All right. Yes, we are going to get into it because this team came off that beautiful 17-7 victory over UCLA. And oh God. Oops. Hold on. They did come over off that beautiful 17-7 victory over, like I said, the Bruins of UCLA. Yes, ran the swinging gate. Yes, had success with it. Yes, neutralized that insanely talented and dominant UCLA defensive line. All points of concern for Kenny Dillingham and his staff last week as they talked about it. And then, he said on Tuesday, just in the post-game presser, go with the swinging gate. And we saw Jalen Conyers, who, took snaps at quarterback last week in practice, as did Cam Scattaboo. You saw in the game, they both played it. Cam Scattaboo threw for a touchdown, another touchdown. And he rushed for a touchdown as well. From 17 yards out, but Jalen Conyers was the 5th starting quarterback for the Sun Devils this season. He did take the first snaps, and he again, it was excited, and he talks about that, obviously, like what it did to help the team with Coach Dillingham coming up with the scheme, and again, running they said swinging gate. Haven't really seen that. And the funny thing is, you'll learn that he actually has a little bit of comfort and familiarity with the swinging gate. So without further ado, here is Sun Devil tight end, now quarterback as well, Jalen Conyers from practice today.
Guys obviously here are going to have Lambeau deals at Texas and the places like that. But, obviously here it's just a lot of the hometown communities, a lot of the, small town businesses and stuff like that. So super cool. So, obviously, when you go to bigger schools, obviously there's going to be bigger opportunities. But, ASU is obviously doing a great job of, getting more in that department in terms of NIL. So it's pretty cool to see. I mean, like I say, we got 5 guys with cars and, we got people with cool food deals and stuff like that. So, definitely making more advances. And I'm sure as more years go on past here, obviously it'll get better.
How much fun was that game to play in Saturday night for you personally and for the team?
It was super fun. I mean, I haven't played quarterback since high school, so getting back out there and getting to kind of just have the ball in your hands and kind of get to make plays is super fun. Obviously it messed UCLA up. They didn't really know what to do. Kind of threw them off their game. So Scat also did a really good job, and obviously Coach Dilly called a good game, and Trenton did a good job as well. So we're able to mix a bunch of stuff up and did a really good job and came out with a win. So it was super fun to play in.
Technically, you were the starting quarterback.
Yeah, I know. I heard. I saw a tweet that I was like the 5th starting quarterback of the season or something like that. So it's pretty cool. I'll take it. Definitely something I can knock off my little bucket list. So, but no, it's a super cool moment. My parents were. My first text I read when I got off the game was like, "Are you a quarterback?" with a question mark. So that was the first text I could answer. So it's pretty cool.
How about Coach Dillingham and the scheming and the game planning to devise all those unorthodox formations in the game?
I mean, he's a genius. I mean, he's super smart. Obviously with injuries and stuff that kind of plagues the team right now, you kind of have to do what you have to do to win. And obviously he's done a really good job of that. Put us in a situation to win. Obviously, that's probably not a game plan you see anywhere else in the country. But hey, it worked for us. So obviously playing a really good team in UCLA, a team that was ranked ranked at one point. You know, a team that's also got to deal with injuries. You know, we tried to take advantage of them. We wanted to take their D line out of the game. I think we did a really good job of that. You know, obviously we only had 1 sack and it was on me, so which I'm kind of mad about, but it's all right. I'll take it. But no, like I mean, whatever's protecting T, you know, keeping him healthy, you know, and just whatever's going to help the team win. That's what we want to do. So I think we had a really good opportunity to do that. It's super cool, super fun.
How about this week? The mindset you guys take into this game against a really great team.
I mean, shoot, man, this is what, you know, like a kid dreams of. You know, you have one of the team that's probably going to be that could be in the playoff, you know, coming to your town. You know, the last time they're here, obviously everyone knows what happened in 2019. So, you know, everyone kind of just feels that energy in the air, you know, right now about what could happen. So, you know, it's one of those games. I mean, it's on Fox, it's prime time, everyone's going to be watching. So, you know, I think we have a super cool opportunity ahead of us. I mean, obviously, you know, Coach Dilly, you know what it means to him, you know what it means to us. So, you know, we're excited, and I think it's going to be a game that, you know, if the fans come out and, you know, show support, and I think it's going to be something that we could really shock the world with.
Thanks, man.
Just wanted to circle back. What do you think are some of the reasons that players typically don't talk about stuff like NIL, like that dynamic? I just want to learn more about, like, what, from your standpoint, sort of.
I mean, honestly, in my opinion, I just think, you know, it's just something that, like, you know, I mean, a lot of guys, like, you don't go talk to your friend about, like, hey, how much do you make with your job, or how do you do this and like that. So for a lot of us, it's just like we go hang out, like we don't want to talk about money. We go play Xbox, go play Fortnite. So like, you know, honestly, I mean, so it's not really a common topic. I mean, obviously there'll be one question every once in a while, like, hey, like this and that, but you know, for the most part, like, I mean, shoot, like with me, I mean, I get Burrito Express every week, and you know, I'll take a teammate, you know, every week, and just try to share and like let everyone like kind of experience it. So especially for the guys that don't get to, like the walk-ons or the freshmen, you know, kind of like that. So you know, it's just super cool to, you know, be able to tell them about it, and like, and obviously they have a goal they want to shoot for, they want to get an NIL deal, but you know, it all comes from being on the field and doing what you can. I mean, I think I haven't done everything, but I've earned a little bit of it. So you know, obviously, and everyone else on the team that has deals like that have as well. So you know, obviously, it comes with playing hard and doing well on the football field first, and then when that cool stuff comes afterwards. So you know, I'm just blessed to be where I'm at. I'm blessed to be, you know, be able to be in the situation I'm in, and I want to be able to show people and help people as much as they can. But in terms of just talking about, like, no one really goes and talks about money around here. We just want to go be kids and have fun. So
This last week, getting the victory, at the Rose Bowl, but to see that fan support too at the end, obviously, you guys have talked about it, a tough season, but just to get that support, what did it mean to you coming off the field, seeing all those fans greeting you guys?
It's awesome. When you look at a whole section and you got all ASU colors in that section, it's obviously super cool. When Scat scored that touchdown, that whole section was just going crazy when Scat scored, even though he wasn't supposed to. But no, man, it's just super cool to see. Obviously, it's like, coming to California, it's a pretty short trip, in my opinion. So being able to see fans out there, even with the season we've had, it's awesome to see. It makes us feel really good. And obviously, we want to get that same support in these last two home games against Oregon, obviously a team down south. So, it's exciting. It's super cool. I think the fans have done an amazing job. Obviously, we all thank them, even though we don't necessarily say it all the time. We do thank them a lot for coming out. And we ask for the same thing coming this week because we're going to need it for sure.
And then what do you think of Scat's, I know you mentioned, but his touchdown pass, it looked like kind of a laser to Elijah.
Yeah, it was. It was actually a good ball. We called it. I was like, all right, Scat. I was like, Scat, please, make a good throw. And he set up, and I saw pressure in his face. I got kind of scared, and I was on the sideline. I saw him throw it, and it wiggled a little bit. So I was like, oh, I don't know if it's a good ball, but it landed right where, right in Badger's lap. So obviously super cool. I got super excited for him on the sideline. It was a super cool moment. Shoot, that's his second touchdown pass. Maybe
one got called back.
One did get called back. Yeah. Okay, yeah, but he's tied for second on touchdown passes this year. So that's super cool. Scat is Mr. Do It All around Tempe. So he's Mr. Tempe. So
is he the team's punt, pass, and kick champ then?
Literally, he's definitely punting. Kicking, I might be able to get him in kicking. Passing, I ain't gonna lie, I'm probably gonna take T still, but no, it's just super cool to see be able to see how versatile players can be. But it's super cool for Scat. I was happy for him.
Did you ever think that you'd be throwing passes in the Rose Bowl during a game?
Oh hell no! What? No, it's so funny because I always would talk to Dilly hey bro, let me throw one pass, and then it's like that one of the when you be careful what you wish for moments, because then you end up playing quarterback for a good point out of the game. So it was definitely nerve wracking. I remember the first snap, I was shaking my hands, I was nervous, but no, it's super cool. you know, it's just like that's something you dream of. I mean, obviously, I got to play in the Rose Bowl for the last time, obviously in the PAC and stuff like that. So, I mean, we may never play UCLA again, in recent years while I'm here, obviously. But I mean, it's just super cool to be in the Rose Bowl to be experienced a moment like that, be able to go and say like I threw a pass in there and I've got to be one of the last players to play in there. It's definitely a super cool moment for me.
So did you? I know you have always had confidence in that arm. Did you campaign for kind of that role?
I mean, like I put in. I may have said some things over the past year or and a half or so. But it's just. I mean, obviously I played quarterback in high school, so I think it was cool to be able to be versatile out there. Run different things. So being able to run it last week was super cool. Obviously this week, have a different game plan coming in. We're gonna figure everything out. But it was definitely a super cool moment. I won't forget for sure.
What have you learned about yourself this year that's gonna help you be a better version of yourself in the future?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think the biggest thing is knowing it's gonna be okay. Especially when in situations like this, when you're having a season like this, obviously the morale around the team is still good. Obviously we have, our goals that we want to reach and stuff still too. Even for me, personally, obviously like stat-wise, whatever you want to call it, the year that not a lot of people necessarily expected. Hell, I didn't even expect it, but it's still, we're winning football games. I don't really care. I just want to win. I want to be able to, help the team win, whether it's running for 14 yards and throwing for 2 yards and we win the game, or having 100-yard receiving. So, it's just one of those things where it's great to see us come out with a win like that. Everyone kind of asks me like, oh, you're not playing as much, this and that. But, for me, it's just like everybody that's getting to play on the field deserves to play. The whole tight room deserves to play. Me, Ryan, beside Bryce, like we all deserve to play. We've all got our balanced reps, and it's nice. It's great to be able to go out there and run. You get to run 2 plays as hard as you can, and then another guy comes in and does the same thing. So it's super cool to see, but it's just, for me, it's just like a learning experience. Like, hey, everything's gonna be okay. You don't got to play 60 snaps in a game to be effective. You don't got to play 50 snaps in a game to be effective. You can play 10 and you can still help your team win. So I think that's probably the biggest thing I've learned.
It's kind of hard to be self-critical, especially when you're young and you're one of the better players. From this experience, have you examined more about like how to maximize your own potential and ability?
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing about that for me is like I try to remember like where I started when I first got here, and I didn't like blocking at all. I didn't want to I wanted to play tight end, but I didn't want to block. I was like, let everyone else do that. So I kind of had to grow up here and grow up and be like, hey, like if you want to be a good tight end and you want to get drafted, you want to do all this stuff, like you're gonna have to like eat it. So I think that was kind of the big thing. Even like spring ball, fall camp, I was just trying to get better at that. And then obviously probably the coolest thing that I've ever had happen to me was making that PFF team, and I didn't catch a pass, honestly. And I know we got our ass whooped, but still, I never thought I'd be in that situation. So it's super cool. But yeah, I think just the biggest thing is like you can go watch all the good plays when you're done playing and all that cool stuff. But for right now, it's like trying to figure out the stuff I'm bad at or the stuff I need to work on and get better at it. So that's kind of what I'm focused on right now, and just learning with everything and like taking everything with a grain of salt. Like hey, I didn't do this good, but next week we're gonna go out and do it better. So
we took the trend a few minutes ago. Obviously, he's a roommate. Can you just take us behind the scenes of those quarterback discussions last week?
Basically, I told him, I was a little over my head. I said I'm probably going to throw for more yards, probably more touchdowns, but I was just talking. So, but it was super cool. It's like weird, like being in there, and it's like, hey, bro, like we're competing. Who plays more? Like, they might put me in if I play good. So it was funny just joking with him and didn't have a good time and like saying like, hey, don't throw a bad ball. Like they'll put me in. Like don't be scared. They see me in practice. So, but it was super cool. We got to talk about it. Obviously, got to watch a lot of film together, and I got to ask a bunch of questions about like reading the ends and stuff like that. So it was super cool, and it ended up working out, obviously. So after the game, it was a good little laugh. I was like, I went 2 for 2 for 2 yards, and I drew 2 PIs. So I'm 4 for 4 on the day. So
are you competing more with Trent or competing more with Cat?
I don't know. Scats might be beating us both right now, but no, it's just be all 3 of us. Like Scat came over and like we all just hang out, joke around, play Madden, and talk about football. We watched the game yesterday, and we were all just talking about like how super cool that was that all 3 of us got to be like in that group and like throw a pass and get to play in the Rose Bowl and stuff like that. So it's a super cool moment. But yeah, I'm definitely competing against Stat right now. Scat has a touchdown, so if I get to go back in a quarterback, my goal is to throw one. I got to at least tie it up. So
what's it like being having the staff YouTube and stuff on a Tuesday, and you guys are out there running in the Rose Bowl on Saturday?
You said what?
Like a staff that's like looking at stuff up on YouTube, the swinging gate formation.
Oh yeah.
And then implementing it on Saturday.
Yeah. Okay. And I just want to say, listen, I'm not going to take credit, but I told him I ran swinging gate in high school. I told him that when he got here. So I was like, if you ever want to throw it, so I'm going to take a little credit. But no, Coach Marv is like, he just he had told us like, hey, if you want to get your players out in space, you want to do something different, like that's something cool. So obviously Coach Dilly went and looked that up, and then we got to, kind of experiment, play with it on Saturday, and it worked out. So, it's obviously super cool. Like, you don't see a lot of colleges like doing crap like that. Like Honestly, like I remember, like literally, I did it in high school at a 2A high school where I went to school with 28 kids. So like, it's you don't see that stuff. So like, it's super cool, and obviously you get to see like sometimes when you put the right game plan together and stuff, like it's gonna work. So obviously it ended up working. We came out with a W. So obviously we're on to working now, but no, definitely super cool moments. Game I'll definitely never forget.
What's it mean from like a player's perspective, just to know that a coaching staff's gonna basically kind of look under every stone and kind of do everything possible to find out the best game plan, however unorthodox, to put you guys in the best position to succeed?
It's awesome because it just tells you how much work they put in, especially, shoot, we're dealing with so many injuries and so many nicks and this and that, like whatever. So, it's just like for them to be able to go like, you know what, we got to go the extra mile to find something that's going to work, to put guys and players in spots that are going to be successful. So, obviously it worked out. Like I didn't catch I caught one pass, but I got to run the ball for a lot of times and got a lot of first downs and got to do stuff like that. So, it's just putting guys in spots that are going to help us be successful and win. And obviously you got to see that Scats, I don't know if you want to call him a quarterback, but a wildcat quarterback, but he could throw it a little bit. But it's just super cool. So I got told I had a really quick release, so that made me feel really good. Someone told me I look like Aaron Rodgers, so I took it. I was like, hey, I wear 12 for a reason. So, but obviously, the coaches did a great job. They had a great game plan. Shoot, they're being unorthodox, but hey, it worked. So, obviously they're going to keep that path going forward. We got obviously Oregon, and then a really good U of A team that we're going to get to play in the next 2 weeks. So we're excited to see what's going to come up and how the game plan's going to fit.
And that is Jalen Conyers from practice today. And, reading between the lines on that too, you got to love it. Because like you said, yes, of course, beware of what you wish for, because, I want to throw a pass. And like you said, he's starting, kind of shaking his hands a little bit. But, and he did draw those 2 PI calls, which were huge. Bryce Pierre had a beautiful catch too. He had the one catch for 20 yards, but pardon me, took a big pop on that. But, like you say, in a coaching staff that's looking to put players in the right position. And he's like, looking for that, doing the work. And to my point yesterday, not that anybody, was giving up on the season as the injuries are piling up, as not having as, the L's kind of piling up a little bit. But they're putting that work in, and the unselfishness and the leaders. And yes, the bus incident from, the Washington game, the offensive bus was just, very, very dirty, and coach called him out and, not going to have it, the defensive bus being immaculate. And that's, fine, you drink, eat whatever you want in there, but you take all your stuff out. You do not, and the offense since then, but Conyers has been a leader on this team. But to his point there, you listen to him say, like, a coaching staff that's doing that. Like, yeah, he talked about being, making that Pro Football Focus team and didn't catch a pass, against Utah, but his blocking, he gets I want to play tight end, but I can't, obviously wanting the, the glamour of tight end, just, put me out there, I'll catch, I can kind of, I can, bump a guy and take off, but he became that better blocker, that more rounded player. And, now you see him, we saw him obviously a quarterback, like he said, and him, Scat and Trenton. And it's one of those things where when players see that, to buy in, you always hear coaches say, you want to set a culture, but you got to get, you have to get that player buy-in, showing them that, we're doing this. And and Kenny even said it, Coach Dillingham said it after the game, like, it was buy-in. It was, okay, oh, coach, we can't do that. It's too gimmicky, this and that. Like, no, like they jumped into it and they said, let's do it. Coach is doing this for us. They've been working hard. And they had a player on their team, and Jalen Conyers, like I said, that was, had a little experience with the swinging gate, but so he got to, throw his passes, and, having Trenton Bourget, they are roommates, and it's, great, you're watching film at home to have that, that quarterback voice, that voice, he wants to be a coach, and with all we can see, Trenton will, I think build up to being a successful coach. But for him to say that, like, the coaching said, like, players buying in. He goes, guys that are on the field, like they earned it. He obviously talked about his tight end room, and they definitely do. But the buy-in is there, trusting the coaches, seeing that they're, not just going through the motions, with at the time, a 2-7 record. Now they're 3-7, Oregon coming to town. And for Jalen Conyers, saying that, being one of the leaders on the team, being one of the elder statesmen, again, not calling him old, just saying for the purpose of the team. But saying, hey, coaches want to do this. And again, the work that Coach Mons has done with the tight ends as well, and just fitting into this, offense. Yeah, Coach Dillingham did not start fall camp thinking he's going to be running the swinging gate at any point of the season. Also didn't think he'd be down that many players as well. So, but you love to hear that from him. Like, yeah, the coaches worked at it and said he had experience. And, yes, it comes down to reads. Yes, it did neutralize UCLA. Yes, they did try to make some adjustments, but again, just awesome. So hats off to Jalen Conyers. You talk about it and you see it from that point. Like, if players aren't going to buy in, you could scheme up anything and it's not going to work. To overstate, yes, the obvious. I know, not a real thin branch to be out on that one, right? Pitchfork lunchers. But I love Jalen Conyers' play. I love, the attitude and, even just, talking to him and, you see how he works on the field, and then just taking, obviously, again, the quarterback, reps in last week, and then getting to work. I said, well, obviously work with Coach Dillingham, Coach Baldwin, and then Trenton, even, when they're away from the facility at home, it definitely helped. And then, Cam gets a touchdown. So he's, you can see the little, the competitiveness right there, but no, it's that team message. Again, you build the culture, you start building a culture and of player buy-in. And when you're recruiting players and they come to the games and they come to practice, they see guys are doing, hey, we're going to do this. Now, yes, with the full complement of players, do we probably see the swinging gate? I'm guessing not. But it worked, and you got to love it. So, yeah, and then Coach Dillingham, we will hear from him as well. He obviously kind of wrapped up the UCLA game, but definitely gets into Oregon. And obviously his familiarity being Dan Lanning's, offensive coordinator last year. He mentioned it yesterday. And but it's interesting to say, and you'll hear it from him about attacking and how to attack, Oregon, what they can look to do, and maybe what they might expect or what they think he'll expect with this. So again, it's the ultimate. It's a chess match, like you always say. Those games are won, Monday through Friday. Yes, adjustments help. Yes, you can make adjustments to win games, but. So yeah, his just take on that, and it's again, like in seeing a coach that you're familiar with, a team, a lot of players that you're still familiar with, and he gets into that. So without further ado, here is Sun Devil head coach Kenny Dillingham from today's practice.
What is that? The first round, like one of 77 or whatever. It's the first round of it, right?
Yep. So, what do you see different in the Oregon offense this year compared to where you were there last year?
There are some similarities just because I think they're playing to both strengths. But I think.
Okay, hold on. We're going to see something real quick. Yeah, did not realize that that video was that way. Very odd for me, but let's see if we can fix this, obviously. I am seeing if that works.
What is that? The first round, like.
Okay. Let me see. Working on it. And so, yes. So we don't have to be kind of odd to rotate it. I don't know why that did that. But again, hey, technology. Again, like I said yesterday, apologies for the cutouts. Haven't had that today. So definitely very, very happy about that. But yeah, we're working on that. And yes, we'll get to Coach Dillingham in a second. But yeah, I mean, look, it's for a team to be 3-7. And again, this team right now, I mean, I legitimately believe should be 5-5. Cal and Colorado. They lost, no excuses. And you could even say Washington, but again, that the pick six, not being able to move the ball, but legitimately a 5-5 team. And again, not great, but with a chance to go, 7-5, or even, finish at 6-6. And yeah, that team down south is improved. And we'll talk about them, next week, but they're improved, they're ranked. And I mean, they beat Colorado this last weekend on a last second field goal. So, but the way they, again, you're looking at 5-5 with a chance to be 7-5 again in a first year, like absolutely huge. But you go 5-7 with everything they dealt with, and now with an athletic director again, though it doesn't so much directly affect the team right now. But I mean, look, it's of course it turns, oh wow, coach, went 7-5 or 6-6 his first season. Okay. And they overcame this. But I mean, again, wins at the Rose Bowl, and then wins at the Rose Bowl, and then obviously beating Washington State, beating opening up with, Southern Utah and, injuries. Like I said, I mean, the fifth starting quarterback this year, Jalen Conyers, because he did start the game at quarterback. So it's interesting to see how, and again, just a few, Cal, again, the stop, the driving down with a chance to at least tie it up, or send it to overtime with a tying field goal, or, you drive down and get a touchdown, you win the game. Colorado, again, getting the, just missing out on overtime per se. Yeah, Colorado could have won in overtime, but I mean, the Devils, battling, and that's the, the part everybody wants to see. And but yes, we will now hear from Coach Dillingham today at practice, or from practice, again, about, obviously last week dealing with Oregon, the new AD. But yeah, like I said, interesting how he says about, what Oregon has on offense. And because I asked him obviously about Nix and Troy Franklin and Tez Johnson, because he had mentioned them. But yeah, just, his thoughts. And again, they're thinking that, it's not like he can give the defense like, oh, you have to do this because Bo's, Nick's going to do this. But he talks about that. So without further ado, here's Coach Dillingham.
What is that, the first round, like one of 77 or whatever? It's the first round of it, right?
Yeah.
Perfect.
So what do you see different in the Oregon offense this year compared to where you were there last year?
You know, there are some similarities just because I think they're playing to Bo's strengths, but I think they're playing better. I think I think Troy Franklin's playing at a really high level. I think Tez is phenomenal slot in there with all the slot option stuffs, the unders. He's really good with the ball in space. I think Bo is just a better version of what he was last year. You know, he got comfortable. He was getting the ball out quick last year. Now he's doing it on steroids. So, I mean, I just think everything that that offense was, I think they're just better than they were last year.
Schematically, not a big difference from last year?
Schematically, there's some changes. I'm not going to go too much into what I noticed the changes are, but there are definitely a few changes. But Coach Stein does a phenomenal job. You know, he's really playing to the quarterback's strengths. The thing that makes them tough is they run it and throw it well.
Do you spend more time in a week like this working with the defense because of the coaching?
There's a balance. I don't want to I can go and tell them certain things that I know that I instilled in them last year that they still do, but I know that. So if we go out and create an entire plan for every time Bo goes to the line and does this, I know he's going to do this. They know I know that. They're not going to let Bo go to the line and do the same thing that they do. So, I mean, there's a little bit of a chess match that I need to get away more than I need to get involved. I need to talk personnel, strengths, weaknesses, what they do well, but the scheme stuff, I firmly believe I can only mess up than actually help. Maybe a few tips, but I can't go in there and say, Coach Ward, do this, this, and this. That's going to hurt us.
So yesterday, the Sun Angel Collective had a record day for new monthly signups. Your reaction to that?
Unbelievable. That's what we need. Can we keep that momentum going? That's the challenge. Can we every day set a new record? How many days in a row can we as a Valley, as an ASU community, there's over 100,000 graduates, can we set a record whether you give $10 a month, you give $250 a month, it doesn't matter. Can we set a record, right? How many days in a row can we break that record?
What are the characteristics that you think would be good for ASU in a new AD?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the president. I'm not, making this decision, but I know this. I know I learned a lot from my experience being at the levels like the Auburns and being at the Oregons from an NIL standpoint and the Florida States, that I definitely think that the way college athletics is going, the changing of college athletics, somebody with, a background or that's been at one of these big institutions recently or is still there because he understands the changing of this landscape. He understands how they're changing. So how maybe we need to maneuver and change. And I think this landscape is changing so much. You almost have to get somebody with that background that kind of knows how it's changing and is in it, is part of the change at a high level. Because I think Arizona State, from a program perspective, from a school, can be one of the top athletic and academic institutions in the country. I think, maybe getting somebody who has a little bit of background at one of the top athletic institutions would be beneficial.
Coach, and you mentioned obviously Franklin and Tez. I mean, to see how they've grown with Bo, but what's the challenge, and obviously not shutting them down, but at least trying to contain them?
Yeah, I mean, get them uncomfortable. That's really, I guess you can say that about every quarterback though. It's really hard though because he doesn't take sacks. So how do you get a quarterback uncomfortable that doesn't take sacks? So I think that's the challenge. It's a very tough challenge, to be honest. I don't know if anybody's done it all year. They're the number one offense in the country in passing, rushing, third downs, or number two in almost every statistical category. And it goes back to they've got 2 running backs that have returned that are really good players. They got 5 O-linemen, 3 of which maybe 4 are going to play on Sundays. They have a quarterback who's the front runner for the Heisman, right? They have a wideout who's a first rounder. They have 2 other wideouts that are going to get drafted. They have a tight end and a half. Both may get drafted. They have a team on offense, a ton of returners at the skill positions, and then a team that is filled with NFL guys. That's a good combination. Player, it's a very good combination.
Coach, in 2019, ASU was in a similar situation to upset Oregon. Do you have any memories?
No, I don't.
And that was Kenny Dillingham from practice today. And yeah, I mean, knowing what Oregon has and Dan Lanning is done, but I like what he said. I can almost hurt. I have to understand the understanding of hurting the scheme or the game plan for the defense more than helping it because, yes, of what he knows. But yeah, I mean, they have changed some things up. And yeah, Troy Franklin, Tez Johnson, like they're beasts. And yes, they both will be playing on Sundays. And Franklin, yeah, definitely, I would think going in the first round, but we'll get to that much later. But yeah, I mean, they're going to have their hands full. And I love that answer from Coach Dillingham because, yeah, when you know something and you want to help helpful, but just, oh yeah, like you said, like if they do this, like we need to line up like this. If they do that, like no, because there's going to be wrinkles and changes. So again, it's that involvement, but step back, like he said, suggestions, not so much. This is the answer. This is always the answer for this because, but yeah, I mean, Bo Nix doesn't take sacks. He has not been sacked a lot. We'll see what Coach Ward has to say tomorrow at practice. But yeah, I mean, just the and then of course right there, talking about the next athletic director and understanding NIL and collectives. And the thing with NIL, like Jalen Conyer said it like in the beginning when I got over there, he was talking, but guys aren't sitting around talking about money. Oh, like you get this, or oh, did you get this? Like, yeah, it still is going to come down to play on the field because I don't think if for NIL, not saying that the players, all the athletes, across all sports shouldn't get it, but yeah, like when you offer some high school kid, like, oh, this NIL, these collectives basically saying, they haven't proven a thing. They haven't done anything, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, volleyball, hockey, soccer, track, tennis, like wrestling. Like to me, it's like why the NFL finally changed their, their salary structure. Yes, first round, top 5, top 10 picks are getting paid, but you're slotted. You're not getting, a $50 million signing bonus and, making more than some vets in the league, and you haven't done a thing. And yeah, you might be good, but as a rookie, I mean, okay, let's just focus on quarterbacks since they're the highest paid. As a rookie quarterback, no rookie quarterbacks winning a Super Bowl. I haven't seen it yet. I mean, so it's the NIL part of it and the collective, like he's saying. I mean, and yeah, of course, obviously Ray Anderson hired him. Ray Anderson hired Willie Bloomquist, who again we'll hear from tomorrow as well. But it's like Coach Dillingham's saying, an AD that has that has been in it, that gets it. And and that gets the whole landscape. Yes, you have to, facilities, coaches, programs. Yes, I mean that all goes into it. And with these, collectives, and Ray Anderson steps down, and I think that was just a lot of alumni and kind of basically selling the university that and like Willie Bloomquist said yesterday. I mean, Ray, and you'll hear it tomorrow, but he's like the person, like the good man. Like, yeah, he did step down, but boosters who were donating, not that they didn't, but would donate more. And yesterday, like that Cressman was asked by a friend of the program, Chris Cartman, and I saw that a record-setting day for the Sun Angel Collective. And if yes, a lot of people, you can easily connect that dot. That's as Ray Anderson stepped down, alum were unhappy, and boosters, well, some alum, but boosters unhappy, and then you get a record-setting day. And he said, whether it's $200 or $250, like what can you do? And again, with all the alum that are out there, and Yeah, I mean you're not paying a coach $76 million like Texas A&M, but anyway, that's that's neither here nor there. But yeah, so I mean, look, with Kenny Dillingham again, absolutely getting it, and they're getting ready for Oregon again. Spirits at practice today, looking good. Then now they did get the win, and you're playing a physical Oregon team. So can you match it? I'm sure Coach Lanning is thrilled that he has to try and prep his defense for the swinging gate. I'm sure he said. Coach Dillingham even said after the game that he's like, yeah, my phone's probably got quite a few texts from Coach Lanning from Dan about the swinging gate. So who knows if we'll see it again? It's on tape, but or what else they'll come up with. But yeah, so that's that. But yeah, tomorrow, like I said, we will see again the presser from yesterday. Things have been out, but I want to put it up here awesome on Pitchfork Lunch because he is the newest member, one of the newest members in the signing class for Willie Bloomquist, Coach Bloomquist, but Thaddeus Earl. And this young man, personality, and look, I'm gonna let the signing from yesterday do its thing. But yeah, Thaddeus Earl, this young man being a part of ASU baseball, absolutely phenomenal. And I can't wait to bring it to you here on Pitchfork Lunch. So again, a little bit of a busy day tomorrow, but hey, nonetheless, it is going to be very awesome to bring it to you, get it pub on Pitchfork Lunch throughout Sun Devil Nation. So very, very, very happy I could do that. So I'm going to get out of here again at Diablo00 on Twitter is where you can find me. And you guys know that. I know you guys know that. That's where you can find me. And well, on X, the artist formerly known as Twitter, and show's also live on Facebook, YouTube as well. Subscribe to the YouTube, guys. If you've missed anything, any interviews, with again, had Willie Bloomquist on, with JJ Van Neal, with Graham Winkworth, with Natasha Adair, with Jason Mons, and players too. You see what I'm getting at? We're just getting off the ground, but oh man, again, absolutely loving it. So that being said, but I again, it's on YouTube. So at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Cat, 005 on YouTube. Subscribe, like the shows, share them, hit me up on the X, the artist formerly known as Twitter, at Diablo00. Questions, thoughts, suggestions. Again, we're going to get out. I'm trying to get out, but again, just building it in a steady way to where, again, we can get coaches and players on, more often than not. Insiders like Chris Cartman, and, we'll have Brad Denny on, Speak of the Devils podcast. Again, he's been around it a long time too. So this athletic director search, and I'm reaching out to former coaches too, and players at ASU. So again, we'll see. And now it's, they have time to do a search. The school year is obviously in. Seasons are, rolling. Final stretch in football and basketball just got going. Again, hats off to the women yesterday. Coach Adair, forks up. Awesome. Love it. And they are 3-0. So again, love seeing that. But yeah, I'm going to get out of here. Again, more tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel, 12 o'clock here. And everybody have a great rest of your day. And again, just follow me on the X, on the Twitter at Diablo00. And yes, Sun Devil fans, as you know it, coming off again a hell of a victory weekend. Shout out again to hockey, beating splitting with the number 2 team in the country in Denver. So love it. A lot going on in Sun Devil Nation. And again, like Coach Dillingham says, activate the Valley. Get out there. Get ready for Saturday 2 against Oregon. I will see you tomorrow. And as always, forks up.
Cherry's 3. Johnny Walker. Matching up against control. His shot. Bruce score. They score. They tie the game. out for Robbie Ryan. Her three right on the money. This is Taya Hansen for three. Other side of the rim with a pretty reverse. Wow.